Okay, thanks for KG's inspiring speech. Okay, morning everyone. I'm Stephan. So in the next 40 minutes, we are going to share with you the topic, the evolution of edge computing and AI. Okay, so it's an honor we will have two special guests to join with us in this session. Steen from Intel. Steen is General Manager of IoT ecosystem and channel in Intel, and Dr. Zhao Huang. Dr. Zhao Huang is founder and CEO of CyberLink. Okay, welcome. Yeah, so from Casey and me the speech, we can see we will have very good opportunity when AI, IoT, and 5G, this technology evolve to be mature and in place in next few years. The good thing is that all this technology will require more computing power, no matter in the device end, in the edge, or in the cloud. Okay, so we think there are four major reasons we believe more computing will be pushed to the edge. Because number one, low latency. A lot of applications will require low latency. The decision needs to be made in less than 1 millisecond. For example, machine vision and robotics. Secondly, bandwidth. Bandwidth will never be enough, even in the 5G era. And data security is still another concern. People still want to process all the data in the edge. Lastly, connectivity. In industrial application, it will require better connectivity than the commercial usage. So, according to the market research, we can expect to see a 9 billion market for edge intelligence and 1.5 billion market for AI inference system by year 2024. The challenge is that how we can do the right thing to catch this great opportunity. Over the past few years, at Advantech, we already established a very complete product line for edge computing. Our ARC and the DS are well-known brand for automation and the digital signage box PC. And we have EIS and our WISE to represent our IoT and the wireless solution respectively. And we will have a new product line for AI inference system. And we also bundle our WISE-PaaS software together with our edge computer so that the developer can develop AI application based on our solution-ready platform, SRP. Okay, so most of our edge computer is with Intel CPU inside, and we start to adopt Intel VPU on our AI inference system. So I would like to invite my first guest, Steen, to give us more latest research on AI and IoT. Steen, please say hello to everyone.
大家好 Miller, 你说我说中文，为什么？你看我是外国人，为什么我说中文？今天你说英文，所以我说英文 ，right? Casey, 你说英文，所以我说英文。不好意思。
Yeah, as you can see, Casey give us a very aggressive goal. Next year, 2 billion, 2020. Yeah, so we need your big hand to support. Please share with us your strategy on AI and IoT, please.
You know, the last time Casey set an aggressive goal, I remember, because I was born in 1983, which was the year that Casey founded Advantech. And it was my 30th birthday when I was living in Taipei, Taiwan, and Casey set the goal for $1 billion. And you guys achieved it. So it's really fantastic and always great to be here supporting the Advantech team. Could you ever imagine, Casey, that 30 years ago, when you started this industrial PC company, that we would kind of be at the center of transformation in the world today? It's just incredible right now what everybody's talking about. Everybody's talking about this edge computing trend. And if you look at 30 years ago, what do we start out talking about? We were talking about the mainframe era of computing. And then we went to the PC era of computing. And if you look at the history of computing, it's kind of centralized computing, decentralized computing. And now the trend is back for this decentralized computing architecture. And, you know, as Miller and Casey talked about today, it's really about distributed intelligence everywhere, from the cloud to the edge. But what we're really talking about today is we're talking about edge computing and the transformation that edge computing is by AI, 5G, and other connectivity technologies. And of course, we're seeing massive innovation driven by all the IoT data being created, the zettabytes of IoT data connecting the internet to the physical world. So, we could talk about the trillions of dollars in economic value that are going to be driven from these technology trends. But just think about it. In the future, if you're operating a retailer and your competition doesn't have checkout lines, they can manage inventory in near real time. They deliver seamless and compelling services like the ability to change digitally the color of an outfit that you're trying on in the store with a magic mirror. If your competition does that and you don't do that, 10, 20 years from now, you're probably going to be out of business. If your competition deploys software-defined manufacturing infrastructure that allows you to quickly reconfigure your manufacturing product line, detect defects faster than others, and deploy customized products for just what your customers need, you're probably going to be out of business in 10 to 20 years if your competition does that. So why edge computing? Why embrace this transformation? The 1997 Man of the Year, former CEO of Intel, once said, "You can be the subject of a strategic inflection point, or you can be the cause of one." What did Andy Grove mean? Andy Grove meant that you could either drive transformation and disrupt others, or your business can be disrupted. And everybody in this room today has an advantage because the technologies at the center of disruption for the next 10, 20 years are the technologies that Miller and Casey just outlined. It's the technologies you guys get to work with. They're really transformational. So, we talk about data is the new oil. I think we talked earlier, if you look by 2025, about 3/4 of the world's data is going to be processed and analyzed at the edge. You see massive growth in IoT use case and AI use case and edge computing. But why do we care about edge computing? Why is not cloud ubiquitous? I think there's really 4 laws we should think about as it pertains. 1, the laws of physics. We're limited based on the speed of light. And if we're doing real-time applications and we have trusted applications like autonomous cars, we cannot afford any latency. Or if you have a robotics installation in your manufacturing facility and your employees are interacting with those robots, you cannot afford any latency. The other law that we think about is the laws of economics. And a couple of our guests said this earlier today. If you look at the affordability of storing all that data, that 75% of data will be created at the edge in the cloud, sending it over the network and storing it is just not affordable. Not to mention the half-life of data or the value of the data at the edge is in many cases not that interesting. You can have time series temperature data. Why would you store all your time series temperature data at the edge? Why not just take the anomalies and store them in the cloud? The third law that you should think about is the laws of the land. And whether it's GDPR or it's HIPAA compliance or the city I live in, the city of San Francisco, doesn't allow you to store faces and facial recognition outside. And so being able to anonymize that data before you send it to the cloud to be compliant with the laws of the land is very important. And the fourth law, and probably, in my opinion, the most important law, when you instrument your line of business, when we move from IT being led by computers to OT led by computers, you can't have any failures. The fourth law for edge computing is Murphy's Law. Anything can fail, will fail. And, at Intel, I'm trying to explain to people, we have a big business on gaming. And in the gaming business, you want to be real fast, because if you're a consumer, you want to be fast, get the fastest gaming machine so you can beat, somebody else. But if you're running a manufacturing installation with multiple robots, if one robot is real fast and the other robot is a little bit slower, one finishes its job in 8 milliseconds, one finishes its job in 10 milliseconds, those robots can collide. You can have a breakdown in your manufacturing process flow. So real time really means deterministic. If they both finish in 20 milliseconds, that's okay, as long as they do it all the time. And so line of business is, really critical. And so those are the 4 laws I think about. Well, why today are we talking about edge computing? Why are we talking about this paradigm shift? So our guest today, we talked a little bit about, how we can deliver artificial intelligence at the edge seamlessly. And the biggest install base today of processors is Intel CPUs. So what if we could optimize deep learning performance on existing processor technologies? What if, as a developer, you could just write once in Python or C++, and you could take that technology and you could run it on Intel's VPUs, CPUs, integrated graphics, and field programmable gate arrays, FPGAs, which, by the way, is hard because most native, there's not that many native FPGA developers anymore. So with the OpenVINO toolkit, you can write once as a developer and deploy across all 4 architectures. Now, with some of the new upgrades of our OpenVINO toolkit we made this year, you can do things like parallel and heterogeneous inferencing. That means if you have an Advantech system with a CPU, with integrated graphics, and a VPU, as Stephan talked about earlier, you can simultaneously run AI on all of your hardware. Nobody else can do that. Some of the other advances we've enabled is we've enabled deep learning workbench with our VPU. So at the edge, you might want to reduce your model size. You might want to do a little quantization. Perhaps you want to use int8. And you want to be able to optimize and see what performance impact you get. You lower your memory footprint, and then you improve your overall speed, and you reduce your accuracy just a little bit. So if you want to target those layers on your neural network that are taking too much performance, you can do that through our deep learning workbench. And if you want to be able to quantize your model, you can do that through our deep learning workbench as well. The one thing we find, a lot of people choose Intel because they're dealing with 3D images. You need massive memory footprints for 3D images. And so when you have like a 3D medical images, we've seen 3D medical images that are as large as like 20 terabytes. And so you imagine processing that in memory. It's really hard. And so one of the capabilities that we added to the OpenVINO toolkit is we do network load optimization. So companies like GE Healthcare can load 3D medical images faster. We've seen up to a 10x performance improvement just in that. As we launched OpenVINO, a lot of customers are saying, hey, this is a development environment, but I want to go runtime. How do I go runtime and deploy at the edge? So we launched a deployment tool. So you can just take the code that's particular to your app and run runtime as well. So that's another great feature. And of course, one of the things that we find in deep learning is everybody wants to build custom layers for their neural networks because their use case is particular to them. And so adding support for custom layers is something we recently did with OpenVINO as well. And we have over 40 pre-trained models in our marketplace. I was just at AWS reInvent. I was talking to one of our partners, and they mentioned to me that they were able to take the pre-trained model, worker safety pre-trained model that we have, that detects if your worker has a hard hat and also if they have a vest on. And they were able to take that model, show it to a customer, and get a deal with a large industrial company. So leveraging pre-trained models to create new business maybe can help Casey hit his $2 billion goal and get everybody on a nice cruise, right? So I definitely check out the pre-trained models. We just introduced like one pre-trained model I really like is in textile manufacturing. As you guys may know, you give everybody an image that people are supposed to print out. And the manufacturers can change the parameters. And so there's challenges. There's no real way to check the image quality. Well, with one of our pre-trained models, we're using AI to actually analyze the textile image quality as well. So as textile manufacturers make your products, you can compare it versus the original specification of your design. That's just a few of our great tools. You can see OpenVINO won the 2019 Vision Product of the Year. And that video that's playing right there that's a transmission at an aluminum die casting facility in Chongqing, China. It's being manufactured for a US automaker. And you can see before the human's job, they had to wait until the transmission cooled down after it was die cast. And then a human picked it up and looked at the images to see if there were any defects. Now with using computer vision, as we all know, deep learning has now exceeded the capability of the human eye. We're able to increase defect detection by 5x. And we're able to use a robotic installation to do that as well. And, I think, if you look at the aging workforce in China, we actually need to automate a lot of these jobs so we can keep the economy growing. So I think we'll see great transformation there. So one other thing about OpenVINO, maybe you want to start out with an unoptimized hardware. Maybe you're working with Advantech today, you've got unoptimized hardware. You could run 1 stream per second, maybe 30 frames per second roughly. Turn on OpenVINO, turn on our load balancing capability, get full use of that hardware. You can run it 16 streams. Or you can upgrade with an accelerator with 8 VPUs that Stephan has and run 49 streams. That just shows you how much performance you can get out of your existing hardware, and you can deploy more capabilities with your customers as well. So, one of the things Stephan was telling me before this panel today is he said, hey, come with some interesting use cases. And so I said, hey, what if I showed you how OpenVINO is deployed in the ocean and in space? So one of my favorite deployments of OpenVINO today is actually off an island in the Philippines. And one of the challenges we have in the world today is our coral reefs are being destroyed. It's estimated like roughly 70% of our coral reefs will be destroyed by 2050. And so, what is the methodology to actually restore and analyze the health of a coral reef? Well, you have a scuba diver that jumps in the water, takes a picture of the fish, and the type of fish around the coral reef actually indicate the health of the coral reef. And scuba diver cannot dive 24/7. It's expensive. Sometimes the scuba diver scares the fish. So what we did here in this information is we took one of our VPUs. We've got a camera, a waterproof enclosure. This is connected up to a buoy that's floating that has a solar panel on it that powers that IP camera, and it's actually deployed with a gateway on an island back to our cloud, and we do fish classification so we can actually tell what the health of the flora is. So space. So what about space? This European Space Agency is about to launch a satellite with OpenVINO and our VPU technology. And one of the challenges in space is you're taking, in this particular use case, they're looking at the weather. And if you look at the weather, you find, weather patterns emerge over time, storm analytics occur over time. You're limited by the bandwidth, actually, in space. And you only have so much computational capability on your satellite. So you enable your satellite with deep learning, you only pick the right images, like a storm is about to approach, and you send those and prioritize those down to Earth. So the scientists can look at the right images at the right time and make real-time or near real-time weather pattern analytics with OpenVINO. Of course, some of the leading medical companies in the world, like Philips, used OpenVINO to optimize their bone age prediction model. They got a 188 increase in performance on bone age prediction. It's not just Philips. GE Healthcare uses OpenVINO for CT scans. Siemens Healthineers uses OpenVINO for MRIs as well. So we've seen tremendous innovation with deep learning applied to medical images because the number of medical images far exceed the X-rays in the market there. And I think you'll see more from innovation from Advantech and CyberLink later in the panel. I just want to give you guys a quick heads up. I think one of the things you'll find is we recently disclosed a new built for edge chip that's going to be launching in 2020. And you'll find that it has a tremendous amount of capabilities. It has an ISP integrated in it, so it could be used as a camera. It has media transcoding capability, so 80% of the data in a couple of years is going to be video data, so we need to transcode that video data and run AI on it. And the other capabilities that it brings to market is you could actually also use it in an accelerator card like Stephan's form factors as well. So from M.2s all the way up to PCIe capabilities. So you see the form factors. You can see it's about 4x better than NVIDIA TX2, about the same performance as Xavier at a fifth of the power, and 25% better than comparable high silicon products. So coming in 2020, you'll see even more innovation for edge AI and processing those media-rich workloads, adding deep learning, and deploying them in the form factors that we expect for edge computing. And I think you'll find with Advantech and Intel, we have the core technologies, the developer tools that we enable, and the use case specific applications to make this tremendous opportunity of edge computing a reality. So thanks, Stephan.
Okay, thank you, Steen. Okay, so thanks Steen's speech, we can understand Intel's strategy on AI. Since last year, we began to collaborate with Intel to develop our own edge AI product line. Our goal is to provide a complete solution, just like this measures, for all kinds of edge AI application, like retail, medical, or robotics, as Steen mentioned. Okay, so from hardware perspective, we will have AI solution module, inference system, and the solution-ready platform to fulfill demands from all kinds of system integrators. And all of our hardware product will support by our own edge AI suite software, and our device arm can help the customer to take care of remote system control and monitoring. And we also have a lightweight server to function as AI training server now. Okay, so our plan is to develop more in the future. Okay, so this year we already released 3 new AI solution modules to the market. Vega 320 is with single VPU, and the 330 with double, and the 340 with 8 Intel VPU on board. Okay, so just a couple months, with this AI module, we get in touch with many new customers. We didn't get in touch before, and many new applications we didn't see before. Most of our applications are related with video AI application, and some of them are appliance maker, and some of them are equipment maker. Okay, just like Steen highlight, Intel will release next generation VPU, more powerful. Next year, we can expect the performance will be many times better than the current generation. We are now joint development with Intel team now. Hopefully, we can release our new product, Vega 341, on time next year. Okay, AI module is primarily for appliance maker, for equipment maker. We also prepare a new series of AI inference system. It's for SI, system integrators. We name our AI inference system as AIR series, because we think AI will just like air. It's invisible, but it will exist everywhere in your daily life in the future. Okay, so we also tailor-made our system for different applications. For example, AL100, this is an 8th-level CPU with VPU built inside. It's target for in the everyday kiosk and retail application. And the AL300 is Intel Core iCPU with high-end NVIDIA graphic card built inside. It's target for robotic AI application. Customer can select their system based on their application. And the Edge AI Suite, this is a software toolkit we developed by ourselves. The main purpose is to support our own AI hardware. But we also want to differentiate ourselves with so many pure hardware vendors in the market right now. We bundle Intel OpenVINO insights, and OpenVINO can help to convert multiple AI models trained by different AI framework, just like TensorFlow or Caffe, and it can do inference in the edge. Before customer porting their code for application, customer already can try out our AI hardware with the utility, and we also build in a lot of many pre-trained AI models so that it will be easier for customers to develop their AI applications. And Intel commits to support OpenVINO continuously in the long term. So we will sync up with Intel to revise our Edge AI suites. Currently, OpenVINO R3 already come with some nice features, model loading, optimization, and command line deployment. All these new functions will help to simplify customers' AI application further. Okay, so from Casey's speech, we can see industry app and Edge AI SRP are going to be our key focus in IoT phase 2. So we echo and follow Casey's vision to develop our industry app this year. In the past, we bundle white spot software with our edge computer to become SRP for DFSI. And this year, we take a step further to develop industry app for different kind of AIoT application. In AIoT, we already have 4 industry apps in our roadmap. And we will introduce 2 of them during this time in WPC event. E2Y app is designed for industry equipment maker to get their machine connected. And the Face View is an app we designed for retail and hospitality application. We will demonstrate these 2 industry apps and give you more detail later in the afternoon track B session. You can join track B session in the afternoon. Welcome and learn more detail from us. We hope our industry app have 4 major characteristics in common. Easy to use. It should have user-friendly UI for the customer to get connected and to configure. And it should be easy for DFSI to integrate with their application and to scale. Number 3, decouple. Decouple is an important concept. All these industry apps should be functional decouple and cross-platform, and they will be available on our marketplace. Lastly, if the industry app is too bundled together with our AGSRP, the performance should be fine-tuned and optimized before they ship in for different kind of AIoT application. Okay, so follow this principle. Face View is an industry app we spend much effort this year. It's primarily for AI facial recognition application. We embed our partner CyberLink's Face ID engine in this app. And CyberLink helps us to fine-tune the performance on Intel VB CPU so they can achieve real-time performance. With this app, I think a customer can use it to collect the Face ID data for VIP customer service or management, or to screen out some people they don't want in the blacklist. And it can also help to analyze the customer behavior to improve the business operation. We think this app will be very helpful for retail, hospitality, or security in the bank, this kind of application. Okay, last but not least, we understand AI is still an emerging technology. We cannot ignore the importance for this kind of fundamental research. So we keep working with leading research institutes to explore better AI algorithm to support our AGI product line. Okay, so this is an example. This is a research project. We work with NCTU Intelligent Video System Lab. The multi-high SSD AI algorithm is developed by NCTU. And we work with them to optimize on Intel OpenVINO platform with our AI inference system. And the result turned out to outperform MobileNet standard, Euro V3, both in speed and accuracy by about 8 to 10%. It can even detect very small objects. It can achieve real-time object detection performance with Intel Core i7 CPU 50 frames per second and VPU 21 frames per second. We hope this AI algorithm can be implemented for security and ADAS application in the future. Okay, so just like I said, we adopt CyberLink AI engine in our Face View app. So I would like to introduce my second guest, Dr. Huang on the edge. So CyberLink is used to be well known for Power DVD software on PC. So Dr. Huang, please share with us your AI technology and the market you see on AI application, please.
Thank you, Stephen. Good morning, everyone. It has been very honored, and actually I'm very excited to be here. I have my slides. So quick introduction about CyberLink. We actually has been public for more than 20 years. I assume many of you may have seen one of our product, Power DVD, when you watch movie, when you were traveling. And we also have the world's best video editing software called Power Director. We won PC Magazine Editor's Choice for 10 years without missing anyone. So CyberLink came as a video expert, and now we come into face recognition AI. I have my other slides, but I just want to say something not related to the AI. not related to my slides. There are two things made me very excited this morning. One is I hear Casey, the head of the world's most important, the largest industrial PC maker. His keynote was all about software. I didn't hear Casey talk about hardware, right? So I said, that is the right move. Listen, this company talk more software than hardware. I mean, the hardware just x86, there's not much to talk about, right? So the question, the next thing that excited me was, of course, the cruise, right? The cruise, the $2 billion cruise. But that is not the question. That is out of the question. So the real question is, they are going to reach 3 billion. So Casey, the question is which year that you're going to reach 3 billion? And the answer is not far out. It is right here. I really is changing my subject. I'm sorry. I can't resist. We invented IoT, this term, a few years ago. We were very excited a few years ago. But the big thing did not really happen. We are in the industry, we know. We don't need to lie to us, right? And there are many reasons that the IoT did not really create huge revenue because the value proposition it provided maybe is not good enough to let customer, end user pay big checks. The things is going to change because when AI comes in, when every IP cameras in this room can recognize people, face, gender, demographics, objects, it creates a huge business value. So we should not look at IoT revenue for the previous several years in a few percentage YOY. I think we should be looking at, are we looking at 50% YOY or higher in the next, I would say 1 to 3 years, because it takes a little bit time to cook it up. All right, so having said that, let me come back to my slides. I just can't resist to say that. I think the prime time is yet to come when they deliver their Kimbay, all right? Okay, and then Advantech integrate all the leading hardware, the best software, the industrial app store at an affordable price with huge user value proposition. This thing is going to be unstoppable. So this is very exciting. And so CyberLink, the reason we moved from video editing, video technology to face recognition is because we saw this. Face recognition on edge is huge, okay? And then because it's IoT, so CyberLink supports all OSs, Windows, Linux, Android, and Windows. So this is what CyberLink did. We submitted our FaceMe engine this year in July to NIST, NIST. We know NIST is the most important rating. And so here's the result. This is, if you look at, this is error rate. So there are these companies' error rate below 3%. And CyberLink is right in that group. And even the difference between us and the leading one, Hikvision, is only 0.7%. So these companies are all very strong, and many of those are in China, in Russia. Some of the country market may not prefer that solution. So we have received very, very strong market demand. We also have offices in the US and Japan to provide local support. So what I'm going to say is, this is not just what I'm here for, because there are many face recognition solutions in the market already. The difference between CyberLink and some of those is we actually take IoT as our main focus. What does that mean? Means we do hardware optimization, we do their chips optimization, we write on the OpenVINO in very detailed level, such that at a cost reasonable device that you're going to build, you still can get a very high performance face recognition performance. So it's not that, oh, you know, some of the solutions there, it needs to run on cloud high-end NVIDIA 2080 type of VGA. We can run, later I'm going to show you, run on Snapdragon 410 and then we can run very well on Celeron. We actually develop a new version for that one. So we are fully committed, and then we found a strong partner because we are focused on IoT, and Advantech is the leader of IoT devices with the support from Intel. I think we three today make a perfect team. This is not done by me. This is by a market research company. We talk about IoT, we talk about AI, and so we examine by 2 dimensions. How big is the market? How mature is the technology? We know self-driving cars, huge market, but honestly, I don't think it's this year. I don't think next year. I don't think I'm going to leave my hands open. Some people will, not me. So this is, when it's mature, the technology is mature, the market will be huge, but just not now yet. Medical, we talk about medical images. Medical images is perfect for AI, but you only sell medical devices to hospitals. Face recognition, you can sell to every home. We have customers making a smart doorbell or smart lock, sell to every home. Access control, we have customer integrated face recognition with elevators. So every apartment, especially those luxurious apartment, the residents came approaching the elevator already knows, oh, this guy lives on a 21st floor. So the elevator would just let you go 21st floor, not the others. So it's everywhere. So face recognition is going to be huge. I don't need to explain this slide. We know video, really don't do it. Don't do on the server unless you really make too much money, right? So it really is an edge solution. So face recognition, we have seen, you really need to go out to see the demo. They have the kiosk. By the way, I foresee in the next 3 to 5 years, every kiosk in retailers, restaurants should be able to recognize at least the gender, the age. So we saw the demo. So when I approach me, they show me a big burger. And when my COO is a she, then show her a salad, right? Okay. So smart retail, when people standing in front of the sign, the digital sign, depending on who you are, what you are, is a he or she, is a senior, young, should display different advertisement, different menu. I mean, how big is this market? Huge. Every POS, every kiosk should do that. It's not now because they haven't made the product available enough yet, but they are committed. This guy is committed, right? So I think it's coming. If you own a shopping mall, you do want to know the demographics of your customers, right? Security, no need to mention. We know this, so I don't need to explain that. This one will be very interesting. We have customers making medicine a cabinet. It's medicine put in there for hospital. And there are some medicine are very sensitive. It's experimental drugs, or it's very expensive drugs. Only selected people can open the drawer. And they want to use face recognition. Why? Why not use the fingerprint? Because in hospital, most people wear gloves. The doctors, the nurses wear gloves. So there are so many interesting use cases that I never thought of. And they say, hey, it makes sense. And it's all about face recognition. Okay? So this is kiosk. I don't need to explain already. If you've been to McDonald's, you know what I mean. By the way, McDonald's menu is huge and difficult to play with. So if we allow McDonald's to recognize our characteristics, then when you approach a McDonald's kiosk, just for example, it could show my previous 5 orders. And typically, I order the same. I don't really change too much, right? So instead of going through the huge menu, this is a game changer when you allow the system, the POS, to know you or to know the customer. A lot of things can be done easily. This is the medical cabinet I just mentioned, so I don't need to say again. So another reason they don't want to use fingerprint is not only because of the gloves. It's because in hospital, you just don't want to touch many things because there are many bacteria, virus. You just don't want to touch, right? So we ran into hundreds of customers asking for different use cases. And so what we do is we support, because it's IoT, CyberLink cannot pick hardware, software. It's our customer decide. So all the hardware, CPU, Intel, including Movidius, and then the different inference engines, all the OS we supported to help you, Advantech customers, to build embedded system, mobile parts, kiosk, sign, door security, and also solution VMS. This is extremely exciting. Let me talk about this to end my talk. We have this solution face recognition, super precise, but it runs on high-end NVIDIA. So it's expensive. And then we had this for low-cost Snapdragon 410, because one of my customers is shipping 410. So you can see the precision. This is 98.89. This is 94.98. And then the customer said, what about Celeron? Between the high-end NVIDIA and very low-end Snapdragon 410. What about Celeron? So we developed a special version we call a very high model. And look at it. Precision is only slightly lower, less 0.9% lower than the best solution. Look at the performance. 10 times faster, meaning the computation demand is only 10% of that one. Meaning you can use a much more reasonable price Celeron to run that amazing performance. So this just shows that how CyberLink, we tailor ourselves, we customize ourselves to provide solution for IoT, for this amazing AIR box that you can see outside. And for this guy doesn't say, I'm going to name it. This is Kimbei, the next Intel chip. I don't know why you don't want to call it. I'm going to play Intel today. So this guy will be 10x better than today's chip. So you see something out there, it's there. This guy is 10x. I hope I didn't say too much, right? So live video, this is just a Celeron. Takes 4 seconds to recognize face. With Movidius, today's version, not even the Kimbei, it's 20x, 20 times faster. Amazing. I think we together are going to meet the demand, the devices, system integrator solutions. And so CyberLink is 100% committed to work with Advantech, the face view solution you are going to see on the App Store to enable a lot of vertical markets. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steen.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Huang. Yeah. So as you can see, at Advantech, we will keep partnership and working together with leading technology in the world to provide all range of AI, edge AI solution, AI module, inference system, and the solution. So, Steen, we can expect Kimbei to bring a lot of excitement to our product line, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yes. I'm Intel today. Yes.
Okay. So, we also demo. So, I hope you can spend some time to visit our booth outside. We show a lot of demonstration with our AGI solution. Not only face view, we also have AI training server for robotics, and we have license plate recognition for transportation, demo, and we also have a very important detailed speech later in the afternoon. Track V session. Welcome to join with us in the afternoon. Okay, so lastly, I want to say the AI era is just beginning. Yeah, we are on the very beginning stage. So please go with us. I think the best is yet to come. Thank you.